I've been seeing a lot of reports lately about this great resignation that's supposed to be on the horizon. Apparently, this 90 or 75 or whatever percent of people are supposed to be quitting their jobs. Now, what they're quitting their jobs for, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if they're quitting their jobs to look for other employers who are going to treat them right, being that now the landscape of work has changed, right? And a lot of work can be done remotely instead of being in the office. Or is this correlated to another report that I've seen where it was talking about in 2020, 2021, there's been more businesses started than ever. More people have been quitting their jobs and going into business for themselves and becoming their own boss and their own entrepreneur. So my question is, are you really ready for that? If you're somebody who's thinking about quitting your job and becoming a full-time entrepreneur or starting your own business, e-commerce store, content creator, it doesn't matter. My question is, are you really ready for everything that comes along with that? Let's jump into it.
Gotta talk about my life as I see it.
Thanks for joining me today, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jonathan Moore. I have a visual media company. I'm a creative entrepreneur, and I like to make videos like these for other creatives out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live. Now, before I jump into today's video, I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm asking that you give this video a like, consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Now, that's a big goal, and I know, but if you could help me out with it, it'd be greatly appreciated. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about this great resignation that's supposed to be on the horizon, right? Now, lately I've been jumping on to YouTube and I've been seeing a lot of videos about people saying I quit, or, this great wave of resignations that are going to come because people are feeling unfulfilled in their jobs or they want to change in their lifestyle. And I kind of wonder about that, because to me, I wonder, are you guys quitting because you're going to start your own business, or are you quitting to look for another job? I'm not sure. Like I said, there was another report that I seen where there was more businesses started in 2020 and 2021. Now, that could be to people losing their jobs and realizing that they can make money online, or, become, influencers or content creators or full-time YouTubers, whatever the case may be. Or it could have been due to a lot of PPP fraud and people were sitting there trying to file businesses after they got the PPP loan. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Either way, I want to talk to the people today who are thinking about quitting their job and starting their own business. And my thing would be, listen, hats off to you. You got my support 100% all the way. But the question is, are you really ready for this? And you're not going to really know until you jump into it. Now, starting a business these days is very easy, but it's not as easy as you think, because there's so much to learn and there's so many things and skills that you have to master in order to have a successful business, right? Starting a business, that's the easy part, but maintaining a successful business and having a business that can support your business and your lifestyle is a whole nother task. And because of that, I have a few questions. So, are you ready to constantly learn and grow? Now, this isn't some type of motivational speech. I'm not telling you to sit there and meditate and you got to learn and you got to grow and become the best version of yourself, which you do have to do those things, right? I'm not saying meditate and all that other stuff, but you do have to learn, you do have to grow, and you do have to become the best version of yourself. The question is are you ready to do that? Are you ready to take on that challenge? Because like I said, starting a business is the easy part. Is learning everything else that's the tough part. My next question is, are you ready to be an outcast to some degree, to your friends and to your family? Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be alone on an island, but what I am telling you is this: when you're starting a business, it's very isolating. It's very different. Things change. The dynamic between you, your family, and your friends changes up. And the reason being is because most people have a regular job. Right. And once again, like I said, I'm talking to people who are specifically thinking about quitting their job to start their own business. OK, because listen, most people have a job, right? Like 9 out of 10 people have a regular job. Right. And there's nothing wrong with having a regular job. But now you're that 1 out of the 10. Right. And so now your family, your friends, your immediate circle more than likely isn't going to be running a business. Right. And you also haven't built that network up yet, right? You're starting out on your own. So you're going to be you're going to be alone to some degree. You're not going to be completely on an island, but your mindset is going to change. And the things that you have to go through, the stresses that you're going to have to endure, those things are going to change. and the way you think about money and finances and the way you live your life, they're all going to change. And so you're going to be kind of on your own because you won't have people who can actually relate to you when you struggle. Now, and as you start to build up that network, that will change. But starting out, you got to be prepared to go in it alone. Here's another question that you probably never thought of. Are you ready to get your boundaries violated? Okay. And you might be saying, what do you mean by boundaries? And I'm about to tell you right now. Okay. When you start to work for yourself, when you open up your own business, and let's just say you're a freelancer. Okay. After what happens is that after you quit, now you got your own thing going. Okay. You control your own time, right? You make up your own schedule. And so you have a little bit more freedom than the average person who has to clock in and clock out at a certain time. And now that you have that freedom, your friends and your family are going to know, right? And they're not going to respect your boundaries the way they used to, right? Before it was like, hey, I got to be here at work at this time until this time. And it was okay. That's what you got to do because you have a job and that's what you have to do. But when you have your own business and you have control over your time, you have the flexibility, people are going to look at you as if there's something wrong with you that you are not, stopping what you're doing to go tend to them. All right. Now, this is a real thing and it's understandable. It's not a bad thing, but it's a real thing because people look at you differently. Right now, all of a sudden you're available. You're sitting right there, right? You're right over there. I can see you. I can talk to you, right? I know that you're going to be around during this time because before you might have been at work. So that's something that you're going to have to deal with. That's something that you're going to have to overcome, right? And it's going to take a while because you're going to have to learn your own boundaries as well, too. But is that something that you're ready for? Because as an employee, you really don't have to put up with that. My next question is, are you ready to manage and budget your money differently than you were before? Now, everybody is different, right? Some people are great at budgeting and some people are just not good at it, right? Your money is like sand in your hands. And I've been in both places, okay? I completely understand. But the difference is when you start your own business, as opposed to having a job, is now you don't have that regular pay, right? There is no, okay, well, I'll get paid in 2 weeks or, I get paid every Tuesday or whatever. No, that's gone. That's out the window, right? You might do one job and you might get paid one time that month. Okay. So you're going to have to look at money way differently, not only for your business, but for your personal, because really what it comes down to is your personal, right? And there's going to be what you need to sustain your own lifestyle. Okay. But you also have to be realistic about the money that's coming into your business because opening a business and starting a business doesn't mean that money is going to start coming through the door automatically. It just don't work that way. You got to build up to that. Another question you need to ask yourself is, what do I really need? Okay. Now, if you're single and you're by yourself, you live with your parents, or maybe you live with a couple of roommates, or maybe you even got your own place. That's going to be completely different as opposed to if you're married, if you have kids, do you have a house? Do you have a bunch of debt, right? That you got to service? You're going to have to figure out what it is that you really need to survive. Because when you first get started, let me tell you, it's survival mode. Okay. You got to do what you got to do to stay afloat, to keep the ship moving. And the stresses are going to be real. Okay. The stress is going to be out of control. It's going to be real. And you got to know what you need. And to be fair, you're not always going to know what you need starting off the jump, right? Sometimes that's going to take a little bit, of time to figure out. But are you really ready to ask yourself, like, what do I really need? Because a lot of times when you have a job, certain things you just take for granted. And, if you have access to them, say, for example, benefits, right? Do you need benefits? Right? Do you have kids? Do you have dependents? Do you have people who are using your plan? Okay. Or do you have a spouse who has benefits and you're going to need access to those, right? So it's a lot of different questions. You're going to have to figure it out as you go along, but that's going to be one of the things you're going to have to ask is, what do I really need? And my last question before I set you off is, how good are you at taking, managing, and handling risk? Okay. Because what you're doing right now is you're taking a risk. If you're planning on quitting your job and starting your own business, you're taking a risk. Okay. And you got to be willing to put that on your shoulders. Okay. And you got to say, how good are you at that? Right. Because it's not as glamorous as you think. Now, it can be very rewarding. And that's my next point, is that if you take all of this on and you're able to sort your way through, you're able to figure it out, you're able to build up a network of people that you can talk to, right? When you're going through certain things, and people who understand your perspective and where you're coming from, and you're able to learn, and you're willing to learn and to get better and realize the different types of value that you can bring to the marketplace, well, then it can be wildly rewarding. Okay. It can be it could be what you thought it was. Now, it might not be exactly what you thought it was. It might not be as glamorous. There's going to be some struggle and there's going to be a lot of hustle, but if it pays off, it's going to pay off big and it's going to feel really, really rewarding. So if you are thinking about quitting your job to start up your own business, I'm saying hats off to you. You got my support 100% of the way. I got a lot of videos, especially if you're a freelancer, videographer, or photographer. I got a lot of videos on my channel that talk about that, different books that I recommend, and just different things to help you along your journey. And if you are planning on quitting your job to start up your own business, let me know down in the comments below, what type of business do you plan on starting up? So that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful and helpful. And if so, give me a like, consider subscribing to the channel, trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. And for all my people out there who are trying to build a life on their terms so they can get it how they live, it's your man, Jonathan Moore, and I'm signing out. Peace.